Excuse me. Tang! Tom thought it was funny. Yeah. Sorry about that. Hey guys, I'm Treven. I got a little distracted there. Normally I usually get 1 or 2 CDs every month, but this time I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110, 120. 120 more. Including a Janice Cat Perry CD that came with this conference here. It was in the CD case here. We're starting with hang on. With Train. I'll go get the other one. I'll go get the Janice Cat Perry CD. It's on my laptop. Sorry about that. I'm going to get it right now. I had to bring my CD player and MP3 and portable battery in to my room. I was charging my battery last night in the kitchen. This is the Janice Cat Perry CD I got. She's an LDS singer. Where's... I don't know where my the TV remote got put. Oh, there it is. So, for train, I got, as I shown you in the video recently, like last week, I got 5 of their albums. This is their first self-titled debut album, which has the 2 hidden tracks. Self-titled title track, Train the Song, Heavy, I'm on track 12, and Heavy, track 13, and as I mentioned, oh, I'm sitting on my puppy. Swaying has if you listen to Swaying on YouTube, like here on YouTube, it has that moment of silence for a while. It does not have the moment of silence, but if you listen to the CD, it does. And you got Tom thought it was funny, and then you got their second I got their second album, Drops of Jupiter, the album. And the title track is track 3. And I got Train's third album. My Private Nation, the album. The title track is track 5. In between Save the Day and My Private Nation, I heard the live version of Save the Day from Alive at Last, but 2 days ago, Pat Monahan says the S word in the live version when he's speaking. And then I got Alive at Last. This is the one I just mentioned. And as I have mentioned, this has 2 studio bonus tracks and live versions from Train's first self-titled debut album, Drops of Jupiter, the album including the title track. Well, the live version from this album is Meet Virginia. The self-titled debut album. And the live version, the live tracks from this album are She's on Fire, I Wish I Would, well, the first 3 tracks, She's on Fire, which is track 1. I Wish You Would, which is track 2. And the title track, Drops of Jupiter, parentheses, Tell Me, which is track 3. And also includes live track versions from Alive at Last. Also includes live versions of songs from this album too. My Private Nation, the album, which calling and 2 of which are the same track on both of these. Calling All Angels and Save the Day. Because track 1 on both of these is Save the Day. Track 3 on all editions, and track 12 on my copy. It's not listed on the back. It looks like an unlisted track, but the CD is the USA edition. And tracks 3 and on as a bonus track on the USA United States of America edition, you get the studio version of When I Look to the Sky, track 12 being the radio edit. But this one, it's the live version on track 7. And the previous song on both of these is All American Girl, which is the second track on this this album, My Private Nation. Oh, and there's another live version, and Alive at Last also includes another live version of another song on this album, Train's self-titled debut album, called Free. And Save the Day is track 4 on both of these, and both these albums, like I said. But on this album, Tom thought it was funny. But on both albums, but on this, and he also includes Get to Me after Save the Day on both these albums, but on this album, it's Save the Day as track 4. Then the title track, In My Private Nation, as track 5. Then Get to Me as track 6. That's the studio recording from My Private Nation. But on this album, it Save the Day has the same track as on My Private Nation in the album, followed by Get to Me as track 5 without the title track My Private Nation from the album from the title track My Private Nation, the song from the My Private Nation, the album. And this one also includes a song called Stay With Me, but it's a cover of another song, a song of the same title by a different band. It is not, it is not the Sam Smith one I know of. And I got this one. This is Train's fifth album, called Save Me, San Francisco. The album, it opens up with the title track. This is the Golden State Edition, which has 6 bonus tracks. The original album ends with Marry Me. The Golden State in the which is the standard edition, but it's the album version. This is the Golden State edition, which also ends with Marry Me, but this one is the first dance mix on track 17. There are 11 tracks in the standard edition. And this also includes the album and 2 versions of Marry Me. Album version on track 17 and first to dance mix on track 17. And we're 17 minutes into the video. And also my copy, the Golden State Edition, also includes the 2 versions of the song Parachute. You got the album version as track 4, which is the same track on the standard edition. But my copy is the Golden State Edition, like I said. And it also includes another version called of Parachute called a Parachute alternate version. Coldplay did their first album called Parachutes, and track 7 is the title track. Track 15 on this, on my copy of Train's Save Me San Francisco, which is the Golden State edition of Save Me San Francisco, is the Golden State edition, is a cover of Rihanna. Same melody, same drums, same lyrics, but the cover version of Umbrella that's on here is the solo version. Is of the solo version without the rapping, Because I have 2 versions. Tom thought it was funny. I have 2 versions of Umbrella as well. The original, as sung by the original singer, like on my MP3. And one of them is in Just Dance 4, which is how I got to know the song Umbrella. So, I only know one song from Drops of Jupiter, Tell Me the album, and the standard edition, one song in the standard edition of Save Me San Francisco, the album. But 2 in the Golden State edition from, well, I used to, which is our Hey Soul Sister and Umbrella. Hey Soul Sister is the only song I know in the standard edition. Well, that is until I started hearing a few more songs from Train's album. Save Me San Francisco, the album, like, from this week. And the last couple weeks. And the last week, and also, the only song I knew from Drops of Jupiter was the title track. That is until I heard the full album last Thursday. And the only song I knew of from Train's self-titled album was Meet Virginia. Cause Hey Soul Sister, no. Well, that is until I heard the full album last week. The second song I heard was Swaying. Because Linkin Park's, because they all came on the radio, but Swaying doesn't come on the radio as much because it didn't get released as a single. And but if you listen to Swaying on the CD, there's a moment of silence at the end, like I said. That reminds me of Coldplay's Twisted Logic, album X and Y. With Twisted Logic, because on the digital edition, there's no moment of silence, because they list Till Kingdom Come. But on the standard edition of the album, it includes the moment of silence at the end of Twisted Logic for 35 seconds. Leading into Till Kingdom Come as a hidden track. Oh, and I gotta get in the shower anytime soon. So I'm gonna make this video quick. And I got these from my grandma. These are 50s music. This one is back to the 50s. This one is Those Wonderful Years. And I actually have a CD that includes any song from the 50s and 60s, the teen years. And, excuse me, and some of the songs on the, oh, let me see that. Hey, Marissa. And some of the songs are on both of these. You got there's not another disc in there. You got Personality. Oh, Carol. Lipstick on Your Collar. And Smoke Gets in Your Eyes is the same track. Track 8 on both of these. And yeah. Those are the 50s and 60s music. Up next is a lot of the past general conferences. Woo! Oh, well, this one I ordered online. This one is the last with President Faust, who was the second counselor in the first presidency of the LDS Church. This was also when we rededicated all the whole church, the whole LDS Church, rededicated the Salt Lake Tabernacle, as you can see in the background. And this is the Janis Caperi CD I shown you earlier. And this conference was back in April of 2007. The Salt Lake Tabernacle, you can see right here, was rededicated during the Saturday afternoon session of the April 2007 conference. And this conference right here that came with the bonus Janis Caperi bonus CD was the first one without President Faust. This was when President Henry B. Eyring here was sustained as second counselor in the first presidency. taken President Faust's place. This one, then he became, then the following conference in April of 2008, he became the first council, and President Eyring, President Monson, here became the president of the church. He sustained as president of the LDS Church. President Eyring became the President Monson's first counselor, with then President Uchtdorf as the second counselor. President Faust had recently passed here. This was also the last conference with President Hinckley before President Hinckley passed. That's President Hinckley right there. And this one is after President. These two are from April and October 2009. This was just 1 year after this conference marked 1 year since President Monson was sustained as president of the church. This conference was when I was in Moab with my grandma, my dad's birth dad, and the rest of my dad's family, and my mom in Moab all weekend. And this conference, this is the October 2010 conference. That conference was held during Easter weekend. And it was also it also marked 180 years since the church was organized, and 2 years since President Monson here became the president of sustained as president of the church. That's Sister Frances Monson. May both of them rest in peace. This one is October 2010 conference. This one is the April 2011 conference. As you can see in the background, that's the Salt Lake Temple that's being renovated, which is also being renovated right now. There have been some complications. This was the first conference to not feature Elder Hales, and to feature the Salt Lake Temple on the front cover, followed by the October 2017 conference. Elder Hales passed away at that conference as well on October 1st. It was also right after I got my job at Smith's. But this picture, it's all cloudy in the sky. The picture of the Salt Lake Temple had the sun from October 2017 conference, had the sun in the background. Woo! And this one is the October 2012 conference. Also, the April 2011 conference marked 75 years since the LDS Church's welfare program. And this one is 76 years. This one is the April 2012 conference. And here's October 2012 conference. The October 2012 conference. You can see the outside of the tabernacle, the Salt Lake Tabernacle in the background. Both the Salt Lake Tabernacle, the Salt Lake Temple, which is being renovated right now, and the conference center are all in Salt Lake City on Temple Square. Then here's the April and October 2013 conferences on CD. One of them, the October 2013 conference was when they started doing the priesthood session, which is now known as the Saturday evening session, which is because it's now everybody watching and participating. Like, they would air it on TV. Because it was then announced that we had announced that we had recently, the whole LDS Church recently announced back in 2013, October 2013, during this conference here, that the church recently, the whole LDS Church recently went over 15 million church members. This one was before they aired this one, and all of the other conferences I've shown you were prior to that. All the priesthood members that were watching the Saturday evening priesthood session at the time from this conference was held, the April 2013 conference, and all the other conferences I've shown before you, they had to go to their meeting houses throughout the world. Like, stake centers. I had to go to my stake center is also the Bonneville Seminary. Where the Bonneville Seminary is at. And normally they had, before this conference, this is the April 2014 conference, the last conference before my dad's birth dad was put in the care center, care facility, that Legacy House just right up here in South Ogden, Utah. It was also the last conference before he passed to my dad's birth dad, my grandpa Hogger. passed away on May 2nd, 2014 from complications with dementia. And Alzheimer's. My grandma remained widowed after this conference, the April 2014 conference, for 8 years until she got remarried in 2022. She was widowed for 2 whole leap years. They would have been married. My grandma, she's the one that dropped these off and gave these to me. She would have been married to my grandpa, my birth grandpa, my dad's birth dad, for 60 years this year. And he was 26 when he got married to my grandma. And Grandpa Holger, my dad's birth dad, he was 26 when he got married to my grandma, who was 19 at the time, on July 30th of 1965. He didn't turn 27 until September 17th of 1965. And Hillel Slovak, who was, from Red Hot Chili Peppers. He was 26 when he passed away in 1988. I was 26 when I lost my grandpa, my mom's birth father, on September 23rd, 2023, from complications from his infection and injuries. From his motorcycle accident. Anyway, I'm gonna go take a shower. Thank you for watching, guys. Please like the video, share the video, comment below, and subscribe to my channel. Oh yeah, and there's a song in the primary songbook for the LDS Church that's on both of these, called A Child's Prayer. And Tom thought it was funny. And President Faust, may he rest in peace, President James Esdras Faust, who was, like I said, the second counselor in the first presidency to President Hinckley in the LDS Church before he passed, was the songwriter for one of the new hymns in the new hymnal for the LDS Church called "This is the Christ," and it's included on this conference set. On disc 7, the first disc for the Sunday morning session of April 2010 conference, song on Easter Sunday, which was also the day, which was on April 4th of 2010, the same day Martin Luther King was shot and killed in 1968. As sung in the lyrics of U2's Pride in the Name of Love, early morning, April 4th, shot rings high in the Memphis sky. Free at last, they took your life. No, free at last, they took your life. But they could not take your pride. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that on this conference here, normally they would have the it's usually 12 and above. They would usually have the women's conference, the young women's meeting for the April, before the April conference, and then the Relief Society before the October conference. But then they started having it combined, and it would include 8-year-olds, 8-year-old girls, 9-year-old girls, 10-year-old girls, and 11-year-old girls. Like 8 years of age and above. And they would have it on the Saturday before conference. Now they don't do that anymore. Then starting in April of 2018, they would have the priesthood session just during the April conference. The general women's session in the October conference. Now it's one full. Now they don't do that anymore. It's now the Saturday evening session. Now it's the full church for the Saturday evening sessions of general conference. And now they don't do the conference discs anymore. That's a bummer.